What is really causing the divorce rate to steadily increase year after year? I ask myself that question all the time when I am faced with countless couples coming to see me at the end of their ropes. They are ready to call it quits and sign those divorce papers. When we sit and communicate about what could have caused it and what led them from happy, exciting nuptials to wanting to end it all, they give me a list of experiences and reasons as to why. Well, at the bottom of all of it, Dr. John Gottman has found, after decades, that there are only four things that can cause the ultimate end in a relationship. Four. They are so crucial, he has actually dubbed them the four horsemen of the apocalypse. They are criticism, defensiveness, contempt, and stonewalling. Those four pieces, if present consistently within a relationship, will ultimately cause an end in divorce if not taken care of. Now, criticism. What is it? What does it look like? Criticism is when you are making it that your partner has something wrong internally. You're pointing the finger. For example, let's take a common household chore, and the partner says, "You forgot to take out the trash. I can't believe this. You never can do it without my reminder. What is wrong with you?" You are turning it to your partner. Whenever you're ending a sentence with "what is wrong with you," it's all about them. It has nothing to do with the in-between conversation between you and your partner. It's that there's something ultimately wrong with them. Now, there's an antidote to this. There's an alternative way to go about this feeling that you're having with your partner, and that is to use I statements and to be honest that you don't have to blame them, but you can just say, "I saw that you didn't take the trash out. Can you please take it out tonight before you go to bed?" Now, that is letting your partner know that you recognized something wasn't done that you had asked, and you would really appreciate if they could do that. It gives the same message that something you would like something to be done without attaching blame to it and saying that it's their fault, that ultimately there's something bigger wrong with them as a person because they forgot to take the trash out. Okay? Now we move on and we look at defensiveness. We've all had some defensiveness. We've all had all four of these horsemen at some point in our relationships. And that's all right. It's learning about how to look at the alternative perspectives. Now, as I digress, we're going to go on to defensiveness. What does that look like? Well, of course, that's the natural reaction that someone's going to have to criticism, right? They go on the defense, that they need to protect themselves and against this attack and protest their innocence. So they need to put up that wall and make sure that they can stand strong. So they'll say to the partner about the trash, "Well, you never take out the trash. Ever since we've lived here, I've never seen you do it." So then they turn the conversation back on the partner that it's their fault. And then in essence, they're not taking any responsibility for the chore that they had said previously they would take care of. Now, the antidote to defensiveness is to take some responsibility. So within that example that you never take it out, I've never seen you do it. Saying, you know what? I got home late from work. I was taking too long and I forgot, and I will make sure I take it out next time. So there's a little bit of some recognition that they had a play in not completing what they had previously said that they would. So that is one way to show that they have a piece in this conflict. Now, contempt. I will say that Dr. Gottman has really focused in on this as being one of the most corrosive horsemen. He actually has shown in studies that contempt, if done enough for a long enough period of time, can cause physical symptoms. The person's physiological state will change and alter and often can become very ill in different presenting ways. But that has such an impact on someone's physical health. Now, what is contempt? It's actually when someone is going to mock a partner because they're just so over having the same conversations and they just want to say, oh, yeah, here we go. You're going to tell me that I never take out the trash. And they will often mock their voice or their body language, roll their eyes like I had just done. All of those things. It shows that there is no consideration or respect for that partner. So the person receiving the contempt is the one who is going to be receiving and responding physically to this if it's done often enough over time. And it just tears you down and makes you believe that there's no point to be in this relationship, right? So that the person who's providing the contempt is mocking them, is saying that they are lesser than in the relationship, that they can never do anything right, and that the partner is always right, to the controversy, right? I always do everything. So that's the person that is giving the contempt. I do everything around here. I don't need you to help remind me of anything. This is ridiculous. I can't believe that you're gonna, here we go again, not doing a chore that you said that you would do. Same old thing. And you're gonna sit there and tell me, oh, I'll do it later, right? It's a very hostile environment when there's contempt present. Now, what's the fourth one? Stonewalling. Just a complete absence of communication and interaction. Now, to the partner who's receiving the stonewalling, they feel like that person has tapped out. They're done. They're over it. There's no emotion left. There's no turning back. Well, research has actually shown to the contrary that the person who is stonewalling is feeling a tremendous amount of emotion, likely a very elevated heart rate, because they are trying to figure out how to move forward, what to do next. And they know if they open their mouth, it's going to even get worse. So, how does this happen? So, the partner comes up to them and says, you didn't take out the trash. This happens every day. I ask you, you say you'll do it. You come home and it's still sitting in here. And that partner is just silent. No eye contact, no communication of any kind. Now, they're not disengaged necessarily. Inside, they're thinking, what to do now? I feel so many things. I'm thinking so many things. that I don't even know what to say. Overwhelming sensation. And what's the antidote to that? When you get to that point with your partner, it is time to take a break. I would say 20 minutes to just separate, recognize, hey, you know what? I can tell that this isn't a time to have this conversation. We both need a breather. We know where this can lead us. Let's come back to this conversation later. Okay, great. That break, as brief or as long as it needs to be, is allowing both of you to acknowledge that you understand where they're at and that you will come back to it when you feel ready and calm enough to present your sides of the story. Okay. Now, all relationships have these, right? At some level, you're going to have criticism, defensiveness, contempt, and stonewalling, whether it's on a minor scale or, a larger scale. Now is time to be able to recognize what those are by the example that I gave you today and start making those changes. You can do this at home. You can go to thegottmaninstitute.com and look for actual workshops where you can go with your partner and they can give you even more in-depth information and skills to practice this at home to make sure that you are not in that 90 percentile of a divorce rate. So I hope you learned something about the four horsemen of the apocalypse today, and you can turn this off and go to your partner and begin on that positive change.